The box lands on the kitchen table with the dull little thud you've been replaying in your head all week. You slow your hands on purpose. Lid up, tissue back, cold steel, bright dial. The watch that lived in screenshots and late-night forum tabs is finally on your wrist. Under the lamp, it looks exact. For one clean second, the fantasy closes. Then your brain asks a different question. Not do I love it, but do other people still want it? You reach for the laptop and check resale prices. It sounds practical. It is really reassurance. Market value becomes social proof, a quick vote that you chose well. The watch is yours now, but the audience is still in the room. You tell yourself you are buying a watch, but the first thing you really buy is a roll. The box opens. The bracelet is cold against damp skin. Under the bathroom bulb, the dial looks like proof. More disciplined, more established, more in control. In the mirror, the image holds for a minute. Then ordinary life enters. Toothpaste on the sink, Slack pings, a coffee mug in your left hand. You reach for your apartment door, see the watch flash, and the feeling changes fast. Not regret exactly. Exposure, like you put on a stranger's confidence before earning it. The specs are fine. The finishing is flawless. What fails is the match between the watch and the person living inside your actual Tuesday. So collectors flip the mismatch, not the object. You may think the watch is about craftsmanship, but in public, it also becomes a status test. You step into the restaurant and angle your wrist toward the window without thinking. At lunch, you lift the glass slowly. In the elevator, you pull the cuff back half an inch. You wait for the small pause, the second look, the easy question. Nice watch. What is that? When nobody notices, the disappointment is oddly personal. Not because the watch changed, but because no one confirmed the version of you wearing it. For a moment, it can feel embarrassing, almost childish, to have hoped. The steel is the same, the dial is the same, but the watch can sit flatter on the wrist when the room gives nothing back. The sharpest hit may have been seeing your dealer's name light up your phone. Before that call, the watch lived everywhere, in saved messages, in late-night refreshes, in that rumor from a friend that one might land next month. Each delay let your mind polish the watch beyond metal. Each near miss made it feel chosen, almost destined. That is what uncertainty does. It keeps attention taut. It turns a purchase into a private suspense story with clues, setbacks, and tiny surges of hope. Then, the box is in your hands. You pay, the bracelet gets sized, you place it on the nightstand, and the room feels strangely flat. Not because the watch disappointed you, because the chase ended. For many collectors, the hunt carried the strongest high. You notice the betrayal in a small, embarrassing move. The watch is beside your coffee, but your hand reaches for the phone before it reaches for the clasp. You are not asking what time it is. You are asking what it would fetch today. 3 overnight sales appear. One calms you. One irritates you. One sparks that dangerous thought. Maybe this is the moment. That is the mechanism. A public price starts competing with your private history. The more often you check, the more your mind rehearses the sale before it happens. You stop wearing it as an owner and start evaluating it as a trader. Comps, range, spread, exit. Liquidity sounds practical. Psychologically, it removes the emotional cost of letting go. The first warning sign is not on the dial. It is the night I stop touching the watch. In week 1, I make a ceremony out of it. Strap swap on the desk mat, lamp tilted low, loom check in the dark, slow winding, 3 careful photos. Every gesture feeds attachment. Then the gap opens. A few evenings go by, and the watch stays face up on the dresser beside coins and a charger. When I finally strap it on again, the case feels bulky, the polish looks loud, the whole thing seems faintly embarrassing. That reaction feels like judgment, but it is often misattribution. The watch did not decay. My ritual did, and the loss of ritual can feel exactly like the loss of love. Right before I leave, the watch box feels less like storage and more like a private casting call. The steel sports watch puts my shoulders up. I answer the mirror like I am heading into a negotiation. The thin gold one slows me down. I loosen my face. I sound kinder. Then my hand lands on the old diver, the one I wore through late trains, one hard job, one bad breakup. I know it still works. That is the problem. It still works on me. So when I sell it, I am not just moving inventory. I am trying to stop summoning that older self on command. The empty slot looks honest for a second, clean,
Like maybe tonight I can walk out as someone I chose, not someone I keep repeating.
The trick starts before the clasp is even shut. You calm yourself with a private sentence. This is liquid. If it disappoints you in a week, someone else will take it. So the box goes high into the closet. The papers slide into a sleeve. You leave the bracelet a touch loose, because desk scratches show up in listing photos. On the first night, you tilt the case under a lamp, then line up box, tag, and receipt like evidence. The exit is already rehearsed. That changes the purchase. The charge on the card feels temporary. You wear the watch, but pull your wrist back from door frames, sink edges, and tabletops. At night, it goes onto a cloth, not the nightstand. You are not settling in. You are preserving inventory. And inventory never fully becomes part of the self. Near midnight, my phone starts rattling across the desk. A new release drops, and the collector chat goes live instantly. Wrist shots, price guesses. Someone calls it the watch of the year before I even sit up. I glance at the piece I was babying all week. Same weight, same sharp bezel, same warm flash under the lamp. But once 10 people start ranking the new thing, mine feels older in real time. By breakfast, nobody is asking about yesterday's favorite. That is the pressure. Not that your watch got worse, but that the conversation left without you. So sometimes the sale is less about money or taste. It is the small panic of showing up to the next meetup in last week's answer. Selling creates the sharpest relief in the whole cycle. I am at the kitchen table under one yellow lamp, staring at a watch that already failed to become me. Papers go in first, then the pouch. Then I hold the box open for a second too long, like I am waiting for a reason to stop. When the tape pulls tight, guilt hits first. Right after that comes a small physical release. My shoulders drop. The pressure breaks. That is the mechanism. Selling removes the failed reality and restores the imagined next self. Once the box is sealed, the watch cannot disappoint me anymore. It becomes possibility again. Shipping day feels calm because the fantasy has been reset, and sometimes that relief feels more valuable than the payment. In the end, most flips are not about the watch on your wrist. They are about the version of yourself you hoped it would confirm in the mirror. Scarcity pushes, status whispers, prices keep score, so the wrist becomes a small stage, and every sale feels like another audition. The cycle slows on an ordinary Tuesday. You check the time while rinsing a mug. No pose, no comparison. The watch is not a test, a signal, or stock. It is just yours, moving through your actual life.